Chào mừng quý vị quay trở lại với phần 3 của chương trình Câu chuyện kinh doanh trên kênh truyền hình FBNC. Với khách mời là ông Kevin McWhinny, giám đốc điều hành của công ty LIMRA&LOMA, là công ty chuyên cung cấp dịch vụ cho các công ty bảo hiểm trên toàn cầu. Okay, thank you, Mr. Kevin. There is an official number show that more than 90% of Vietnam population don't use any life insurance products. What do you think about it?
I think it's a marketer's dream, actually. Anytime you enter a market where there is such low market penetration, tells you that the opportunity is it has to be very, very good. And so when we look at low penetration rates, it tells us and it tells our members that we have to do things a little bit differently to reach out to this large segment of the population that doesn't know about our products and services, doesn't understand, and doesn't know how it fits into their future planning, for when they get married or when they have children or when they retire. So it's one of those things that if you come from a Western country, you would and where you see high market penetration, that's more of a concern than when you come to a country like China or like Vietnam, where there is lower penetration, because it gives you an opportunity then to try different things in this market.
So what do you think about the potential of Vietnam market?
Well, the potential is exciting. We look at LIMRA, we have something called a market maturity model. And that's a model that allows us to have a forward-looking view of the industry in various countries that we're in. And we measure some key areas, some drivers of that model to tell us how that market's going to evolve. And there's basically four key drivers. The first one is distribution. And distribution currently in Vietnam means that insurance is sold by life insurance agents. And it works very well, but as the market develops, those market channels, distribution channels, will expand into selling through banks, bank assurance, or selling through independent financial advisors, possibly through direct marketing or telemarketing, many other channels. So that's the distribution driver. The second one is product. When you look at potential of this market here in Vietnam, you look at how the products change. Products start out as being very simple savings type of products, and as that market grows and matures, the products can become a little bit more sophisticated and can do more things for the customer than the simple savings product. So the third driver of how the market grows, and we look at our maturing markets, we look at the potential here in Vietnam, is around regulation. And so at the beginning, when markets are young, there can have issues of mis-selling of insurance because the market may not be as educated, and so there hasn't been a lot of training and development of people. And so the regulator will step in and try to regulate these markets, and you have to be quite concerned about how regulation can even slow down the productivity if you're not careful. So our model looks at working with regulation to ensure that it's not over-regulated, that you don't have no one coming into the life insurance industry or no one buying insurance because it's too complicated. And then the fourth driver of the maturing of the market is really the consumer trends, and it's something we talked about earlier when we look at the impact of social media and how consumers buy. And they may initially buy just on the relationship that they have with their agent. But as that market becomes more sophisticated and more understanding and more savvy, using the internet especially, then they'll be looking for a different way to make their purchase. And that's where we find our research is showing that companies throughout Asia are exploring different ways to get to their customer through, whether it's through mobile technology, whether it's through social media, or Facebook or LinkedIn or some of these, or it's a number of other ways to reach out to this sort of Gen X and Gen Y generation. So those are what we see when you talk about potential of the market. That's kind of how we see the market evolving.
Yeah, so we talk back about the number of 90%, more than 90% of population that don't have the life products or life insurance products, right? But the thing is, the 90%, that is most of them are lower income people, right? So from the time now to let them become your customer, then it's going to take a while, right? So what do you think about that?
Well, I think if it was a tiny country, that could be an issue. But I think we're looking at a country with 70 to 80 million people here in Vietnam, and what we're seeing here is this emerging middle class market. And so what we do know, if you look at the demographics of Vietnam, we do know that there is a segment of the population that can afford to purchase insurance, and they should be making that purchase. The problem is they don't know who to put their trust in.
So you focus on this segment,
correct,
right?
Correct. Now that's not to ignore all other segments. There also is a kind of business called micro-insurance, which is a way of looking at some of the very rural markets and seeing how we can help the farmer market and so on to be able to at least make a small purchase of insurance that would help them, which is better than nothing.
Thank you again for coming to FBNC today, and I wish you good health, and LIMRA&LOMA gonna have huge success in the future.
Great. Thanks very much.
Thank you. Kính thưa quý vị, chương trình Câu chuyện kinh doanh trên kênh truyền hình FBNC đến đây xin được kết thúc. Xin hẹn gặp lại quý vị trong những chương trình kế tiếp.